Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Boomer Zoomer podcast, where around here we got the best news. We just do the best. That's all we do. We got the
Yes.
legend, the man, the myth, the legend, Raging Rock. What's up, man?
My mind's telling me no, but
But
my
my
body is
but
telling
my-
me yeah. I'm listening to some old ass shit.
Same. You know what?
Yeah.
Same. But how old though? How old are you going?
Huh?
How old are you going?
Dude, man, like I'll listen to stuff like lately it was 90s, but like sometimes I'll be
I was in
hitting
like
up stuff back in the 50s, 60s.
yeah, that's where I always been. I've been like Richie Valens,
Okay.
Temptations back then.
Okay,
Putting a little
yeah.
back there. But
Yeah.
you got me as well, Capo, aka the Zoomer, aka Old Soul, right in here. Always bumping oldies all the time. Speaking of music, one of the best albums of the year so far has dropped. I don't know. Have you heard Kanye's new album?
You know what? Like I was running. I was running the other day, and I was like, you know what? Let me put this album on and like listen to it. And I thought that like correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that he was like all on this like Christian thing. So it would be really interesting to see if he like went back to putting in some like ratchet shit into his music. Well,
Okay.
I didn't hear any. Like he was all rapping and was talking about God and all this stuff. There, I didn't hear anybody cursing on this album. I don't know if I just if I look at the wrong version on Spotify or what, but I was like,
I don't think so either.
yeah, I it was good to hear some people on the album, but I don't know.
So as you were running, right, you were getting that jog. Did you feel the presence of God touch you because the album is so good?
No, man, it was hot.
No.
It was hot. It was hot, and I was just like, I was trying to keep it going. I got to.
You didn't feel Jesus come down and touch ya. No.
I do have to say though, so like I went to a Christian school from 7th grade till I graduated high school.
Yeah.
I went to a Christian school the whole entire time, and while doing that, they would not allow us to talk. I mean, they would not allow us to listen to secular music, so it only had to be like Christian music or gospel. It could be Christian rap. Yeah. All the Christian rap back then was garbage. So like, I mean, I never really listened to that rule anyway. But if I had like on a status of like Kanye, then maybe I would have. But but still, I don't know. Like I feel like I love the song when Kanye was talking about like you're such a fucking hoe. I love it. Like
really?
Dude, like that joint is like now don't get me wrong, some of his older stuff I really like. His Graduation album, one of my favorites. Really like.
Yeah.
Even was it a Blame Game off of what was that song? I mean, what was that album about Amber Rose? Was it a Twisted Dark Fantasy?
Yeah, Twisted Dark Fantasy. Yep.
Okay, yeah. A Blame Game with John Legend. That's one of my all time favorites from him. Because like and Chris Rock was in that song. It's pretty funny. But that's the Kanye that I like.
Yeah,
when he's all talking about all this like religious stuff and all this other things, I'm like, yo, man, you trying to get too deep, player.
What do you get this album like out of a 5?
Oh, I gotta let me like. So I listened through most of it once. I need to give it one more time to see if I'm really, because I to be honest, I really wasn't feeling any of the songs.
Yeah.
So maybe I have to like really just sit down. I would not while I'm running or something like that, and try to listen to it and see if there's something that I'm feeling on the song on the album. But,
So I sat with this album for 2 days. It came out yesterday. So once it came out, I listened through it during work the whole day.
Yeah.
Today, same thing. Listened through it the whole day. This shit sucks ass. God.
Oh, damn.
Man. Listen, I like gospel. I can listen to some gospel music and it'll touch my soul. And I'll be like, yeah, what's that song that what's her name sang in Good Sister Act 2? That song.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. I'll be there all happy day. I'm straight. I enjoy it, but there was way too many synthesizers in this. He abused the fuck out of auto-tune for me. Man, the only good thing about this album is the features. Jay Electronica's verse on it was dope. Jay-Z's verse was
Jay-Z was dope. I thought it was dope. Well, maybe because I like his voice,
Yeah.
that. I was like, oh, I haven't heard him in a while. Maybe that's why I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
oh shit, Jay. Yeah.
Who else was on there? Who else was on there? Their features was really good. The good artists. Then he also had new people on here, new people that I didn't know, and I was just like, "Who the fuck is this? And why are they rapping this way?" Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, not for me. The Baby's verse on it was great as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, the features were immaculate. His verses, I didn't like. I think there's only one song that I kind of liked was like "Come to Life." I think that's the song. That's the only song that I really enjoy out of this whole album. Besides that, this album's a pass for me. I'll give this shit a 1.
A 1? Damn, we gave it a 1. Dude, man. No, man. Like, a 1 is really bad, man.
It's bad.
Like, no, but like incoherent bad. Like, it's like trash, like you see on SoundCloud. That's a 1. Like, this is not that bad.
He abuses a synthesizer in this whole album, man. If you go back and listen, you'll hear all the synthesizers, you'll hear all the autotune that he abuses. Only a couple times that he actually goes on there and raps, and you're like, oh, there's the Kanye that I kind of like, you know?
Yeah.
And I also I like when, you know, somebody puts in like a gem, like, you know, when a rapper puts in like that famous line from what's it called? What's that movie? Brooklyn. Fuck. The famous line is like, you're gonna get 3 women in your life, 3 great women in your life, and you know this. And the first 3 are always amazing. After that, you know, it's whatever's. A Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale. Okay,
yeah. So I like it when a rapper drops in hidden gems like that, and you're like, oh, this is cool, you know, and it impacts the album. But if it's just people lecturing you and just like random stuff, I'm like, all right, man, like I get it.
Yeah, I would have to say majority of the albums this year that I've heard from people that I was really highly anticipating have all been duds, pretty much. Like I haven't heard any. Now I think Nas has an album that
was good.
He dropped. Is it a classic or like I haven't heard it yet?
It's good. It's good. It's not a classic. It's good though.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's the only other person right now that I'm like, damn, I got to hear this album.
Yeah. But yeah, J. Cole's actually, I went back and listened to it. That's a good. That's if you sit on it, it kind of works.
If you sit on it,
yeah.
You got to let me know what songs are there because I can go back and listen. But when I listened to it, I was like, man, what is this shit?
I mean, this Kanye album is just kind of like a pass. One, the 2 times that I listened to it, I'm like, I'm not gonna come back to it.
So not Nas, but Little Nas X. Like I saw his video that he just put out the other day when he was like in prison and stuff.
Yeah.
This dude is way too much. This video is way like if it was just a song, I probably would be like whatever. This video was ridiculous. Like
it's very over the top, right?
It was way over the top. Like it started out, it was all right. It had like dudes twerking and like dudes holding his pockets. And then like that very next scene, it had just all these naked inmates just dancing. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And so then today, like I get this text about him sitting there like he's giving birth to his album. And he's sitting there like he's pregnant and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude on? Like,
hey man, this I don't know even. I haven't heard. I've heard of the video. I haven't watched the video yet.
Yo, if you watch the video, damn, I think it's called. I think the song's called "Industry Baby" or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You look at that shit, you be like, what?
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You be like, what?
I'm okay on that. That's a pass for me too.
Yo.
Listen, I cool with Old Town Road. I can listen to that anytime. I'm cool with that, but
I couldn't be alone with that. I couldn't be alone with that. I had to like show that to the middle. Like, look, do you want to see, like? Let me show you some shit. And she was like, "What is it?" Like she didn't appreciate that. Like, she was like,
so did you hear that? Like, he went on Twitter and he's like, "Oh, guys, here's the uncensored version. Here's the link." Drops the link.
Oh. No, I would not want to watch that shit. No, hell no.
It was a prank. It was a prank. He's like, why are you guys trying to come and look at this? Like, what are you doing?
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's something I would have done. Like,
yeah, he came back. He's like, why are you guys trying to look at this? Like, what's You guys got something to tell us? Like, like, come on, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show you guys this.
Yeah, it gets like millions of hits and stuff. It's like, yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt
yo,
it. It's a lot of
yeah,
meat.
yo, hey, no meat I'm interested in,
Nah,
but yeah, like he's definitely creative. I'd say that because I would have never have even thought of like bringing
he
that up.
he brought eyes. He brought eyes. You're not into the music, but you went and saw the video, right? He brought eyes
Yeah,
to it. He brought
yeah,
eyes to it.
yeah. Broad eyes, yeah.
Yeah, it worked on you, not me. Miss me with
Yeah,
that,
for real. Yeah,
Nah,
yeah, man.
but
Dang.
also in music, Kendrick's leaving TDE. We're gonna get one more album.
Oh yeah, one more album. Yeah, heard about that. The after that, he's finished, right?
He's
Like,
finished with TDE, so that's what he said. He said that he's finished with TDE, and after this, that he's gonna go on and venture to his own thing, do whatever
yeah,
his passion follows. In which I hope it's more music. I hope
yeah,
it's more music, but maybe something went wrong with his negotiations or something. But you know, he said,
yeah,
there's no way nobody's gonna come out of like their album, their record label and be like, yeah, fuck them or anything like that. They just be like, oh yeah, we were cool. It's just I'm gonna do my own thing.
yeah, yeah. Man, like, yeah, man. I don't know. I hope I get like a really good album this year that I could be like, yo, this is my joint. Drake's supposed to be coming out. Wait, has it come? Did it drop yet or?
I'm not sure. Did you hear that beef that between him and
Yeah, oh,
Kanye about that
they've
shit?
had a beef for a long time. Like they've had a beef for a long time running. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
I don't I don't really look for Drake like that. Really, it's not my cup of tea. So
yeah. No, he's got some. He's got some hits, man. The youngsters like him. Like you're like the only one that I'm like. I don't like you. You be listening to stuff from like when I was a kid and before. Like I'm like,
yeah,
damn.
yeah, I don't like.
Like,
There's some stuff, but besides that, I don't really look for Drake like that. Like,
I see.
not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of fucking features, Pop Smoke. He had a Pop Smoke on Kanye's album. He had a
Oh,
Pop
really?
Smoke. I think he only said like 2 words on it and repeated it, but it was
Oh,
Pop
okay.
Smoke's voice, and I'm like, this is
I
what
mean,
also.
it's going to be hard. Like if you're going to have somebody like that feature, it's going to be hard getting any kind of lyrics because it probably is not much
Yeah,
to, to pull from.
yeah, but I mean, also the beginning of that album, I could just keep going on and on how that album was trash. Like 2 minutes of somebody saying what was it, Donda?
Yeah, Donda. Yeah.
Yeah, the two
Well,
minutes of
that's
that.
his mom's name. Like
Okay, that's great, but he could have used lyrics. He could have used his rap genius to make a verse out of Donda, not just somebody abused the word for 2 minutes.
yo, man, he's always into some weird stuff. He's like creative. He's creative. He's always into some. That's his
It,
creativity going. Like that one album that he had where like it was just like crazy stuff, and like the video was just some chick like dancing, like he's like that. He has all that creative.
listen. If what I expected, since he's going down this road, was a gospel album. That's what I expected. I expected some hymns. I expected some beautiful.
some hymns.
I expected some beautiful melodies, some beautiful and like a dope beat under it. That's what I
Yeah,
expected. I didn't expect the synthesizer bullshit, fucking organ here and there, and like
yeah.
yeah,
Yo, so when you're a billionaire like that, you have that option to just make some crazy shit, and you can have a whack one-off album. You can, if you want.
one. I don't know. He's had a couple.
Which ones? Which ones were off?
The Yeezus one was off for me.
Yeezus. Oh, there's a couple songs on there that were legit.
Nobody
There's
talks
a
about
couple
them.
of them on there. I'll have to like listen to it again. No, there's a couple of them that I was feeling.
I prefer to go back and listen to Life of Pablo. Life of Pablo was better than
Life of Pablo was good.
Life of Pablo was
Yeah.
way better. Yeah. But yeah, I can keep going about how much that
Dang.
album sucks. But yeah,
Yeah. But since we're zipping through things or whatever. So remember when we talked about like Kevin Samuels and stuff
yeah.
the other day. So I like Campus Samuel's stuff, but I've been seeing like a ton of like people like kind of in the any man sphere, MGTOW sphere, like what is it, quality man, high value man or whatever,
Okay.
and
Okay.
like I'm just like now you got a lot of like motherfuckers running around talking about like they're high value men and stuff now, like
Yeah.
oh I'm a high value man, I'm a high value man, like treat a girl like this, treat a girl like that, and I'm just like
Yeah.
like I mean, what doesn't help is some of the shit on TikTok though. Like they find some of the most ridiculous shit that women say, and like, and then they like post it or whatever. But
Yeah.
I was like, yo, man, like you run around talking about your high value man. Like if you're not making six figures, no, you're not a high value man. like,
Nah.
like,
Well, so my thing with these guys talking about like these high value men is right. Like you're talking how to be when you're at the 6 figure mark. You're not talking helping these guys become a high value man. They say, "Oh yeah, just grow a business." Like it's so fucking easy.
yeah, yeah,
Like, oh, you're at a regular pay job where you got to be at 95. You got to get out of that and start a business. You got to get your own grind. It's like,
yeah,
bro, this shit ain't that easy.
yeah. So like I could see what they. I mean, some of the things where they try to like warn about certain nature, like female nature or whatever. Like men have nature too. Like
Yeah.
you have male nature, masculine nature. Where they try to warn about female nature or whatever
Yep.
in a sense. And so it's good to be like forearmed, forewarned. Like so, like one reason why I was like I'm like this is because like when I grew up, like I was specifically told and instilled and drilled in me like don't let anybody get a reputation off you, and you ain't nobody's chump. And so I mean that's pretty much all that it boils down to
Yeah.
when essentially when you go there. But like some of these dudes, man, I'm like they go to the extreme, and I'm like, man, it's I don't know.
All for a female that just thinks her value is just her pussy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all it is. That's all it kind of breaks down to, like, right? Because it's like she's not really benefiting in like any other way rather than just sexual and like eye
Yeah,
candy.
yeah. Well, if you have somebody that has like that is genuine, the way I put it, like, and the way I've always put it is like with those kind of girls or whatever, like just whatever, like
Yeah.
it's just passing the time. But if it's somebody that is actually quality that's worth it, then you can invest more
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
that person. Just really get to know them, but do know they have their nature, and so do guys. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
a I don't know, like it's just crazy that amount. And now you got like little dudes like having beefs and shit on like what's there a beef about?
With
Like
who?
you got like beefs that are out there. I don't know, like,
With,
and you got people like getting caught up like frauds and stuff. Like there was like this whole like fresh and fit. Like I don't watch them or whatever, but I guess they got like called out and like exposed or whatever. But you got like all these people that are like having like these like beefs or whatever. Like I'm just like, damn.
so the fresh and fit guys, they got exposed by their own people, right? Because they were like not paying their people and stuff like that were in there recording with them, and like they were bringing in back females and like buying bottles for them, and like they weren't paying the guys that were buying the bottles in the first place. So it was just the two guys really benefiting from them. So
uh,
the two guys left, and then they try to run up on the apartment, and well, they're in Florida, so if you know the gun rules there, homie
yeah.
pulled out the gun and he said, "Step into the apartment, and then we will have issues." And yeah, that was I think that was the gist of their beef. Like they was just kind of like exposing them, like, "Yo, you didn't pay us. Like, you kind of built your reputation off of our backs that we would bring these females back. We would pay for all their stuff. We would pay for all this stuff, and
Yeah.
you barely paid us back."
But like I heard that there was like was there something with was it Abba and Preach in them or something like or
I'm not
like
sure.
no there's been people that have been beefing and I'm just like damn, like I don't know, like I'm so busy
There's
but
so
I'm looking
much,
at
yeah. Yeah, there's so much beef in like the internet world right now because everybody's living on it, right? Nobody can leave their house, and like people are seeing that you can monetize and make a lot of money off the internet. They're like, oh yeah, let's just start our own podcast, and then we're just gonna beef with that person and talk shit about them the whole time, and then we're like, we should do that. Fuck, who should we start beef with?
Yeah, all I gotta say is if a person is a high value male,
Okay,
you don't need to tell anybody that you're a high value male.
no,
that's number one.
that's your
Like,
yeah. Your presence got to show that
your
I'm a high value.
presence will show it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
yeah. Your fake Rolex
Run
will
around.
show it.
You know what, girl? Forget you. I didn't want you no way. Guess what, bitch? I'm a high value male. What? like, no, you don't need to. You don't need to.
The thing is, it's just I feel like it's like just creating false hope for a lot of guys that are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this to the real life, but they're not at that stage of life yet to be like commanding that respect. Where you're like, bro, you're at Burger King, like step down, player.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No disrespect to anybody that works at Burger King, get your hustle on, but I'm just saying,
Do your thing. Flip them burgers.
Yeah,
Flip them burgers.
I haven't been there in a minute.
Slang them fries.
But I hope you're on a path for better enrichment to your high valued man.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Now, for real though, who should we start beef with? We should start beef with another podcast.
Start talking shit. Find somebody. Yeah.
I'm good at debating anything. Like I could pick a fight with anybody. So like any opinion they have, be like they're wrong.
Yeah, wrong. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That'd be funny. Yeah. Start some shit.
Fucking let's start a beef with Demi Lovato's dumbass fucking podcast.
Yo, man, I lose brain cells listening to that shit, man.
I'm saying we're gonna be helping people by destroying our podcast.
Dang. Dude, man, I don't know. Last thing I heard from her, like she doesn't know what she wants to be. But like I told my kids many years ago, like, look, drugs will fuck you up. Yep. Like, I mean, I just think that's exact. I mean, I think that's essential what happened. They like, it doesn't care how rich you are, they will fuck you up. And that's it. Like, that's it for Demi Lovato.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were as a kid, you were into like wrestling?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Were you in the Attitude Era, right? Or were you after
well, so I was before the Attitude Era too. Like I was, in the 80s and stuff like that with Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. But then, yes, I was really big into it in the Attitude Era too.
Yeah. At what age did you stop watching it?
Shit. That I don't know, because like I would pick back up at it a little bit here and there, like, but shit.
How old are you when you found out that it was fake?
I was probably like maybe like 11 or something like that. Like 11. Yeah. Something like that. When I was a little kid, I thought that shit was real. Like,
yeah, of course, and that's their job, right? They got to sell it to make it look really like, all right, cool. Yeah. I was like watching Stone Cold on Hot Ones.
Yeah,
like he has that interview, then like Undertaker when I'm like, I was in the heyday of like Rey Mysterio and Eddie and Batista and Eddie,
like it was an NWO, like WCW.
No, mine was like the 2000s era. Remember 95? Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so like Triple H was still the game, cerebral stats and all that stuff. But I was just like, I remember you talked about it, and I'm like, huh. So who was your favorite wrestler back then?
Okay, Shawn Michaels, man.
Shawn Michaels,
really? Yeah. Shawn Michaels is the shit back at look, he was the shit back in the day. Like none of them had, like, Triple H didn't have shit on him. Like none of them had anything. Like if anybody was going to win championship, it was like Shawn Michaels was always like on the top of the roster. Like
before DX or after DX? Before, it was way before DX, right?
Before and doing DX. Like his matches, the one that he had with Undertaker, classic.
Yep.
Classic match.
Yeah. It's classic.
And then the Montreal Screw Job with
Bret
Bret Hart. That was a huge one. Even in DX, he was such a huge. I mean, Shawn Michaels was such a huge star. Like probably my number one of all time if I even think about it.
I
Undertaker probably Undertaker's up there. Like my son Undertaker is his favorite, and I was like, man, I
yeah
was watching him since I was a kid too.
yeah. His American Badass phase was dope as shit. I liked him best when he was in that
Oh,
phase.
really? Really?
Yeah,
I like when it was just like that straight, like Undertaker,
yeah.
just
No,
his person. That's how his personality. I mean, how his personality is.
when he would come in with the motorcycle, he'd be like, "Ah, fuck!"
Yeah,
and it would
coming
take,
rolling with the motorcycle.
yeah, with the old Harley, and you just like, "Oh, fuck!" He'd go around the stage. You're like, "That takes skills."
That dude was wrestling forever, man.
yeah,
Forever. It
yeah,
was
man.
crazy.
That dude,
Craziness.
that just
Yeah.
kept it up even until like maybe a couple years ago that he finally stopped.
Yo, have you seen that new production? What's it called?
Oh, all
Um
of AEW,
AEW. I just
all of
saw
it.
it. I didn't even know about it until the other week.
Yeah,
And we had guests here and they were just like, no, I'm gonna watch it. So they were like down in my basement at a big screen and like
yeah,
watching or whatever. And I was like, they got some names. Like they have like JR as the announcer. They got Mark Henry.
yeah.
They got Sting.
Big ass thing. Yep.
I was like, dang. And then they had I don't know it what's the guy from 90210? Was it Luke Perry, his son? Was
I
it Luke Perry that died?
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. He played Dylan or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, his son was one of the wrestlers.
Yeah.
It was
No.
legit. It was pretty. I saw moves just that episode I had never seen before. It was entertaining. I
A
like that.
AEW is this new like up and coming contender where TNA used to be, where like
Uh-huh.
you would have the indie guys that are like coming up that are really good that are like that are coming up, but WWE isn't going to take them because they're so indie that they're like, we have superstars, we have The Rock, Cena, Roman
Yeah.
Reigns, all these guys. So this is where we're going to go, and this is where we're going to put you. At AEW has this guy named Orange Cassidy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen his gimmick where
Yeah.
all he does is just puts his hands in his pocket
His
and
pockets, yeah. It's just like
yeah, he's just
yeah.
minimal effort in this whole match and like
I think they call it sloth style or some shit.
some
Like
shit like that. And I've been
yeah.
meaning to get into AEW, but Jericho's there and like Jericho's old as shit and like man, I saw him doing moonsault the other day. I'm like, bro, you're gonna break your neck. Get the fuck
Yeah,
off.
Sting is old as shit. Yeah, like it's crazy though. You see all these people, you're like, God damn. But
Sting
yeah.
as well. Sting needs to fucking retire, man. That dude.
But yeah. But no, it's crazy. Like yeah, AEW, that's crazy. It just reminds me of like the,
Those are
like
those are like the high flyers. We're gonna risk a lot of shit where WWE not so much anymore. WWE has a lot of like, more of a stable, like we're gonna build up a story during the match rather than, look at the high flying spot here, then the high flying spot over there, then we're gonna do this crazy thing over here, and then ta-da, here's the match.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean AEW is cool. AEW has a lot of WWE names that are leaving WWE right now because of contractual obligations,
Yeah.
or WWE is just letting people go, and it sucks because like Bray Wyatt was one of those names that they let go, and it's like, bro, you're keeping the name because he had a character named the Fiend.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like they're keeping it. I think they're keeping it contractually. They're keeping it
They're
for
keeping it.
yeah.
So tell me what do you so the episode that I saw CM Punk came
Yeah, okay.
back with him.
Oh yeah, then
Like that was the time CM Punk came. What do you think about him? What do you think about him as like a
that's good. That's good because he's gonna get the liberty to do what he does best, and then WWE never let him. So now it's up to him to like actually show, because they're gonna give him the creativity to be like, all right, you're here. What are you gonna do with it? And like he always put on good on matches, right?
yeah, like people were in the fucking stands like crying. There's
Crying,
dudes crying when he
bawling,
came. I was like, what?
bawling. They're like, I gotta see a Punk is back.
I mean, what do you feel about like it, like him like coming back and his like from his like MMA career, and now he's trying to
Was it a
like.
career though?
I mean, it wasn't, but I was actually shocked that so many people were like still like are like that devoted into him, because for me, like I'm like, okay, you went and did like MMA and you got your ass literally beat. Like you would think people would just be like, not
Nah.
believable, pass, but like no. people are devoted. They're like on this dude.
Because his tale is a fairy tale, his princess tale. Like he didn't get the shot. It's a Cinderella story. He didn't get the shot that he needed at WWE. Triple H always kept him under his thumb. Vince McMahon always kept him under the thumb. Like you weren't allowed to do much. You weren't going to get the championship. We were going to take it away from you. Like so now it's like people always wanted him to like leave and go to another place. There was nowhere to go. AEW is at the perfect time right now where they're growing and growing. Kenny Omega, they have these big names that they're like, okay, CM Punk, and everybody's like, what? Start balling and
balling.
It's a perfect time. He's gonna make money. AEW's gonna make money.
He'll make way more money than he ever would have doing MMA ever.
Of course, he's like, I get that you train and you think you're like, all right, I'm ready to go to the UFC. Is like, nah, different ball game, player, different ball game.
Yeah.
this is chess, not checkers,
Yeah. But like I don't know, back in the day, the attitude era was wild. Like I remember somebody was it was one of the Bella twins or whatever was like talking trash about China or whatever. And I was like, hold up. I was like, China was wrestling just straight dudes. She was not going around. There were no women for her to wrestle. No. This chick was stacked and was wrestling dudes back then. So I was like, I don't want to hear shit from some Bellas talking about like, but I guess they apologized or whatever. But that was crazy back in the day.
Back in the day, man, they got away with some wild ass shit. Man. They got away with some wild ass shit. The fact that Steve Austin could be out there with beers and drinking them, that was like the best thing. Like you can't do that anymore. Nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah, you can't. But dude, like back in the 80s or whatever, the shit was crazy back then too. Like the wrestlers were crazy. They would be coked out all the time.
Yep.
They would be like passing each other's wives around. Like they were crazy nuts. Yeah. Like, and then I just remember like Ultimate Warrior, like as a little kid, like just be like, like when he was just talking, like, and you watch him now on YouTube, you'd be like, what is this dude talking about? Because the shit he talks about, like, you're like, what is going on?
You're left looking under, like trying to look under his nose, like, do I see the coke? Is this still is this
Yeah. And then like Macho Man, the only thing that I hate about like the whole industry is just like how like the heart disease that they have, how a lot of them die really young with heart disease, and then some of them with like mental issues or whatever. That the suicide rate is a little high in that or whatever. But other than that, man, it is super. Yeah, Chris Benoit. Yeah, it's super entertaining. Like, but for them to put themselves through all that punishment all the time, like, man, like not far from here, there's like this backyard wrestling or whatever. These dudes go all out, and it's fucking crazy. I'm like, man,
like back then they lived like a rock star lifestyle, man. Like back then it was like drink, work out a little bit, and those were the rare wrestlers that worked out a little bit.
Yeah,
and then party, strip clubs, coke, wrestle, strip club, party, coke, next city, like it was it's rock star lifestyle. Now. No, now
these dudes are fucking huge back then too.
Yeah,
naturally huge. They weren't like I mean, well, I don't know. Naturally, I mean, a lot of them were roided up, but but these dudes were huge to begin with. Like they weren't like
you could go and legit find Undertaker saying they would even tell us if we're doing roids and if it's like what roids to be using.
Yeah,
because they were big. I mean, they were big. I mean, fucking Sting back then, man.
Yeah.
It was
Sting,
a monster. Fucking yoked out, huge as shit. And you're just like, bro.
There's no fucking way you're that natural. There's no
Not
way.
in that era, right? Not in that era.
Yeah, not in that era, no. Now you might be able to, but like back then, nah.
Yeah. No way. Now these dudes are like super leaned out, buff as shit. Like you look at their IGs, hitting the gym before my match. After my match, I'm gonna go hit the gym again. It's like, damn, bro, you just got your shit pushed in, and you're like going back to the gym. All right.
Yeah, man.
It seems like you should go work on your character more than your wrestling. But all right,
for real.
I'd want to like do a AEW watch, like a one of their events. That'd be dope.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
Be able to sit and just chill and watch it here.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Oh, no. But
Sit, chill, check it out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go do some stuff. But yeah, go follow, like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff.
All the good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Later, citizens.